Hey guys, it's Alex, and this is LooTalk, a program where I bring you the freshest and most interesting news from very different areas in a digested way. Pun intended. Feel free to subscribe and like this video, and obviously if you share it with somebody else, I'll be very grateful. This is episode 5. Let's get into it. Researchers discovered a hormone that is produced by liver that can help intoxicated mice sober up quicker. Basically what the scientists did, they knocked mice unconscious with the amount of alcohol, and then they checked how quick the mice was able to regain consciousness and coordination. So the ones that received this hormone were able to do it much faster than the ones that didn't. Why it's so cool is because this hormone could potentially be used later on to develop specific drugs that would help people get away from this intoxication, because over 1 million of people get into the emergency rooms within the United States. So it's a big problem to be solved. And also what's great is that this hormone actually has already been checked for safety when trying to apply it to different use cases. A little bit about Doggos from Chernobyl. As you may know, in 1986, the Chernobyl catastrophe has happened and thousands of people had to be evacuated. Many died, which left a lot of houses and in particular pets left behind. Back in the day, scientists thought that pets that were in the area of the explosion had to be eliminated as they could be a cause for further transmission of the radiation onto other subjects. Nevertheless, during the study it was found that some of the dogs were actually able to survive despite the efforts to eliminate them. So what the study did, it actually drew a bunch of different blood tests, DNA, and so on to try and identify whether these dogs or some of these dogs were descendants of those that were present during the time of the explosion in Chernobyl. And they did find out that these dogs are actually, or some of the dogs are the descendants of them. This is really crazy because if you think about it, they even said that some of the dogs were present literally right next to the explosion, meaning that the radiation that was there at the time, and I think even now it's high, I'm not sure though, it was like ridiculously high, like really deadly levels, and somehow yet they survived. So why this study is great is actually because you now have subjects that you know were exposed to this high radiation, and you can study them and see the effects. How do they adapt? What happens to their body? And then you can try and help potentially us humans to be able to withstand certain catastrophes if they were to happen, or react to them quickly, or create some drugs that would help you treat the radiation illnesses or sicknesses. So it's really interesting and it has a high potential. So bumblebees apparently can learn how to solve puzzles while looking at their buddies or other bumblebees. So basically what they did during the study was they taught bumblebees one of the 2 ways to open a box, and then they saw that their other buddies within the same colony were able to transfer that behavior. And then they could observe that those other guys within that same colony were doing the same behavior that was taught to that bumblebee. What basically the study suggests is that the culture or the behaviors or the traits that we have as humans, which is really normal to us, is actually much more widespread in the animal kingdom than we thought before. So we as humans ain't that special. Researchers discovered that throat neurons send signals to the brain. In this particular case, special neurons within throat of mice were found to be sending signal when an influenza or flu was getting into the body, which were triggering behavioral changes such as decreased movement and decreased feeding. Obviously, a lot of people know that the body and brain is connected, but it wasn't clear exactly on the mechanisms how it is connected. And this is like one of those studies that shows that there are different places within the body and the organism which actually signals to the brain that something is wrong or something is not happening as it should, therefore telling the brain to act accordingly. What researchers suggest is that now they will be looking for other similar patterns within other types of the body. For example, maybe that within the gut, there are also certain parts that would signal the brain whenever there's a new virus coming in for it to, I don't know, cause like nausea, for example. A little bit about economics. Silicon Valley Bank, a major lender to tech sector, has collapsed. It happened because of the capital crisis and bank run. This is the second largest collapse since 2008. The reasons for it seems to be the Fed's aggressive hikes, even though, from my opinion, they are not that aggressive yet. Everything aggressive is yet to come. US job openings fall from 11.2 million to 10.8 million, and also SiriusXM cut 8% of its labor force. Tesla again reduced prices, this time Model S and Model X by 4 and 9% respectively. Lastly, a little bit about Twitter. According to the Wall Street Journal, Twitter has provided some update on the revenues of 2022 to its shareholders. Even though they don't do it anymore publicly, but they mentioned that more than 40% of revenue was lost in 2022 because major advertisers started pulling away from Twitter due to many scandals that were happening around it. Musk, as mentioned before, wants to get rid of this dependence on ads, and he wants to focus more on payment features, and that's why a lot of people or analysts, they predict that this revenue trend loss that's happening right now is going to be reversed and everything will be better. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much. I hope you found this video valuable. If you did, please like, subscribe, share it. I'll be very thankful. Until next time.